Alright, it is March 21st, 2019. My trading day is done, and I will show you what I took today. I'll show you two of the trades I took today, and I'll show you a couple trades that I'm really disappointed I didn't get in. Right here you can see the first one, Conagra. So this came up on my, I think it was a gapping scan, because if you look at the daily here, you can see that it gapped up today, right? This was yesterday right here, and then it gapped up. So it was a mover. So it showed up in I think my pre-market gapping scan, and I was watching it closely because the first 5-minute period was a big spike up, and then it just kind of went sideways and then started to break down. But on this 15-minute chart, you can see that it was above the 10 EMA. I always watch that 10 EMA. You can kind of see how it gets close to it and kind of moves up here. So basically, at this point of the day, look at all these little yellow dojis, these indecision dojis, right? That raised my eyebrows there, because that was a bit of a weird situation here. It's basically so much indecision in the market at this point, and then but you can see here on the 5-minute chart with the 8 EMA and the 20 SMA, which you should use together. They're very helpful together. When they cross, sometimes it indicates a change in direction, but when they're working together, you can tell when the stock is moving smoothly, as it is kind of here. So basically what happened is, after that period, there's a quick drop down, right? I think it was like down to about 15-cent drop, and then it recovered VWAP. The purple line is VWAP. So I was watching it right here, and I said, if it gets above this little pivot point here, this little 2561, if it gets above there, I might get in. So I put a little arrow there. I said, I was thinking of getting here, and I got distracted with another stock, and then look what happened. At 2559, jump up to 2570, and then just start moving up all the way up to, did it get 26? Yeah, $26. So I missed out on about a 40-cent little move right there. That would have only taken about an hour. So I'm kind of pissed about that, because it had everything I liked. It was above the 10 EMA. It was a gapper, so usually that means something's moving it. It had a lot of volume today. You can see in the yearly there's a big volume. You can see volume kind of drifted here during this indecision period, and then it picked up a little here. And that's why when I saw this little indecision doji with the little volume uptick, that's what I thought, okay, maybe I should get in. You can't catch them all. You just can't. And now the second one that I did not take, that I wish I had taken, was Intelsat. Yeah, just simple I. You can see where I put my arrow. I felt it kind of came up through VWAP a little too quickly here, so I got nervous. And now this came from I made a little modification. I've in my other videos, I've talked about bouncing through VWAP. There's a little scan here that I use that's been giving me really good results. What it looks for is stocks down on the day coming back through VWAP. Now I've made a new scan based on that one that's kind of narrowed the criteria, so it only shows me basically anywhere from just 4 alerts a day to about 15 to 20. One day it only had 3 alerts, and all 3 of them were big winners. So basically this one showed up early on, I think it was right here, 11:16. So right about here, yeah, right when it broke through VWAP. Showed up right here at 15:11, right before it broke VWAP. So I put an arrow here 10 minutes later saying I'm thinking about getting in here, but I'm not sure. At 15:22, I could have put my stop right below VWAP at 15:13. I mean, less than 10 cents. I could have had a less than 10 cents, and then look what happened afterwards. It shot up to 15.76, over 50 cents, pulled back, then moved back up to about 15.90. So almost a 70-cent gain from where I was thinking of getting in. So I'm really disappointed in that, because those 2 trades alone, and Conagra, could have really made a difference. But one trade that did work out for me, Unum, an insurance group. So this one, is this a gapper? I don't think this was a gapper. I think this showed up in my, to be honest, I'm not sure. I think it was a gapper, actually. If you look at yesterday, closed at about 35.56. So it only gapped down about 15 cents. So this, I think this might have showed up in my gapping list here, but I don't see it right now. But no matter, I'll have to go back and do a back test and see where where it showed up. Anyway, it kind of qualified for my down and back up through VWAP scan, because you could see it pulled back here and it came back up. And I liked the fact, if you look on the 5-minute chart with the 8 and the 20, it was moving back up. It kind of started to ride the 8. When as soon as it rides the 8, that means it's moving kind of smoothly. And then it was about to cross the 20, and that's usually where you know, it can take off or change direction, basically. So it had been down, crossed here. I got in here at about 34. What did I get in at? 34.60, and I just rode it all the way up, and then it spiked over this little topping tail doji. Got me a little nervous. This was my first target, 64, because I risked. I got in at 40, and I put my stop right here at 28. So 12 cents. So that means I wanted it to go up twice that much. That's usually the rule if you're a day trader. You want to risk half as much as you're targeting. So I was targeting 24, so I risked 28 or 12 down here at 34.28. I got in at 34.40, and it went up to all the way up here to about 34.75. I was hoping it would continue, but you see it pulled a little bit away from the 8. As soon as it does that, you should tighten up your stops a little. So I tightened it up. I put my stop at 34.66 above my first target, and it came back and hit it, and then you see it kind of carried up again, but it never really took off after that. So a good little trade, nice little upwards movement, but look how smooth it is going up, riding the 8 EMA. That's what you like to see. So that was a good trade. And then a bad trade I had, which was really not the smartest thing I should have done. Kind of made at the end of the day, which was Kemet. This showed up in my, I think this showed up in a volume scan, like a high volume scan. So the reason I got in this is because if you look here again on the 20, so it was a gap down a little bit, yeah, 36.14 from about 36.51, so less than 50 cents, but it still qualified for my gapping scan. Gap down, and then you see came up and started riding the 8, right? Not pretty though, kind of sloppy. And then there's this cross here, and that's when I said, oh, you know, maybe it's changing direction. But you see, it wasn't smooth, and it wasn't exactly riding that 8. It was kind of bouncing around. It was kind of on the 8, like the 8 was running through it. It wasn't using it as resistance. But I saw this little pullback and then come back a little, this drop and then pull back and then bounce back down again off of this area, and I said, okay, maybe it is resisting this level again. So I got in here when it started to really drop here towards yesterday's close. Got in at 36.515, so it's basically 36.51. It dropped quickly down here, and I should have taken some out. It's about 13-14 cents away from where I got in. Should have reduced my risk by taking some out and taking a profit save there. And then look what happened. This is where it got ugly. Quick shot up. Quick shot. Look at this. It's just not smooth. Look, it's closing here. It's opening here, and then look at this, gapping up over the 8, dropping down. This should have been a telltale sign right here that something's not right. I need to get out of this. I should have taken my shares out right here. But what I was thinking, I was hoping, you should never hope, was that it was going to eventually drop more. And one of the reasons I thought that was that if you look on the 15-minute chart, it had broken through the 10 EMA, right? So it had come down, distanced itself a little too far. Then it had this topping tail candle right here at 13.45. So basically in this area, there was a topping tail candle, right there. And I thought, okay, maybe it'll do a little green bar, ignored, and drop down again, but instead it used that as a liftoff point, and it came back and hit my stop because I got in at 51-ish, and I put my stop at about 66, I think, 66 or 65. So and you see what happened. It came back, hit VWAP. I didn't wait for it to break VWAP. This is another problem. I thought it was just going to blow through VWAP at that point, but it didn't. It bounced off of it and kept going up again. So that was a bad trade. That really, I don't know why I ignored the signs there, but it was misplayed. But still had a pretty good trade with Unum. Not a tremendous trade because it didn't continue on. I always like to see, even if I'm out of a trade, the stock continuing to move up, make higher highs. or lower lows if I'm in a short, because it just means that I correctly identified a stock that was really moving, that was going to take off, and the opportunities were there. Even if I didn't hold on to it for the rest of the day, if I had saved some shares, I know I could have and maybe got more gains, but more importantly, it just justifies my identification of a stock that's possibly moving in the direction I want it to. So here I did that for a brief period and then pulled back right actually to where I got in, and then it came back up again. So you never know, it could actually break the high of the day and continue on. But it wasn't, I probably would have gotten out if I had held onto any shares by the time I came back to my entry. So I still been up, but I would have, exited here and, probably not re-entered. So, but that was it. So a couple of trades I didn't take that I wish I had. One I took I shouldn't have taken, and then a nice little quick trade here that ended up saving me for the day. So I said I was going to do some live streaming of my trade ideas charts. Probably my pre-market scans. Tomorrow I'll probably do do just a quick live stream in the pre-market hours of my scans, just to just to test the live stream. Probably shut it down by the time the market opens. So if you're looking for any ideas of what to trade, if you're a new day trader, I will hopefully have the live stream up, and you can see my scans, what I look for in the pre-market. Okay. But if you have any questions, just let me know in the comments, and good luck trading.